Welcome back. This is my second segment with Ann Moses on a special episode of Phoenix Tonight. We're talking about her career really as a pioneer of the music entertainment journalism business. Is that the best way to describe it, would you say? Music journalism?
That's the way it turned out.
We were talking about you working for Rhythm and Blues.
Rhythm and News.
Rhythm and News, I'm sorry.
Right.
Rhythm and News in Southern California, covering some of the R&B and blues acts of the mid-'60s, would you say? Mm-hmm. And then from that, you were about to transition into how you became the editor of Tiger Beat, yep, which I have an issue of right here, courtesy of an antique shop in downtown Glendale. So you were talking about you had just come from a hotel room with James Brown, and a girlfriend of yours joined you on another venture?
Right, an interview in the hotel room with James
Of
Brown.
course!
God, okay, just
This got juicy real fast!
clarifying.
Hi! Okay, so was that good? Was that James Brown? So a girlfriend joined you on another interview.
Right, and another trip we made up, they had sent us up to interview Herman's Hermits.
Oh.
They were in town, they were staying at a house up in the Hollywood Hills, and so that was the first time I met that British group. And they were all my age. You know, some of the groups I would interview would be a little, just 2 or 3 years older.
Sure.
But the Hermits were all my age. So they were kids just like I was. Mm-hmm. And so it was great. But during that whole evening, I went motorbike riding with Herman, Peter Noon, and
wow,
you know, just having a good time.
Sure, feeling groovy.
Gathering my facts. and my girlfriend said, oh, I'd really like to work for Tiger Beat. And I said, what's Tiger Beat? And I literally, you know, I was in college, I was on the paper, working at Disneyland, volunteering at Melodyland. I didn't read teenage magazines, didn't have time. She said, oh, what's a magazine, you know, about all the stars, and you know, wouldn't it be nice to get paid? Because we were volunteer doing our reporting for Rhythm and News. And I said, well, getting paid would be fun. Paid to have this fun? I'm going, this could work.
Sure.
So in the course of my work at Rhythm and News, I had met Derek Taylor. Derek Taylor was a publicist for the Beach Boys and Paul Revere and the Raiders and the Byrds. So he had originally been the publicist for the Beatles, but he brought his family over to the United States, and so he was working for these groups. And I had done him a favor. He had called me at one point after I'd done one story, and he said, would you come and interview the Beach Boys?
Wow.
And so I did that story, and so we knew one another. So I went and talked to Derek, and I said, Derek, you write a monthly column for Tiger Beat. You know, is there any way I could get in there and introduce myself, and maybe they'd let me write a story? And he said, well, I don't know. And we're sitting in his office on Sunset Boulevard, you know, and it's 3 in the afternoon. And he just picked up the phone and he called over and he said, oh, so he said, can you go over for an interview at 4? And I said, yeah. And at 4 o'clock, I was sitting in the editorial director's office having my first interview. You know,
wow.
I'm thinking maybe I can sell a story. So he suggests, he said, I tell you what, write me a couple stories in Tiger Beat style. So he wanted me to take the stories I had written on the Dave Clark 5 and James Brown and do them in Tiger Beat style, which means that I can't just say, you know, here's how this group started and here's how they wrote this song and, you know, the 5 W's. You also had to, you know, include what's their favorite color and what kind of girl do they want to marry and,
sure,
you know, and what kind of birds do they think are cute, you know?
Use the words boss and groovy.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did a quick study of Tiger Beat because I wasn't familiar with it.
Sure.
So I did my very best to do the Tiger Beat style, and I took them in, and Ralph said, these will be fine. although he did make them even more Tiger Beatish by, because I was describing a scene in a hotel room another time that the DC-5 had come to town between that first story. And he added the line, oh, they were all watching such and such on TV, and they were sitting around in their sweatshirts, and their feet were bare, and he said, even their feet were cute. So that was his little contribution. So
Sure.
over time, I learned to put those things in all by myself.
And I think Harvey Levin does that on TMZ too. He always mentions somebody's bare feet or something.
Well, it's those little, personal facts that they wanted in there.
Absolutely.
But what surprised me when he said, okay, we're going to run these, he said, would you like to come to work for us? And I said, well, I've got another semester to, before I'm finished with junior college, and I've been accepted to San Jose State to continue my journalism career, and I'm going up there. But I said, so we worked out a deal where I would work up there 20 hours a week while I was finishing my classes, and I even got credit in a communications class.
Wow.
So that was awesome.
Very cool.
3 units just for, going up to Hollywood every day.
Wow.
So they gave me the title of editorial assistant, and they immediately started sending me out on interviews and stories, and by the time June rolled around and the publisher was sending me on week-long tours with Paul Revere and the Raiders and Dino Dizzy and Billy, and I was making my first plane trips out of California, and going on these amazing tours, suddenly San Jose State didn't look quite so rosy. So, I had to come to that decision, though, and when the time came, am I going to keep working here, or am I,
Sure.
My parents had made all the arrangements, and I just couldn't resist.
It sounds like destiny was kind of laying opportunity and experience out in such a way that, yeah, it was clear. And this would have been June 66?
June 66.
June 66,
Correct.
because just a few months later, I'm sure you would be assigned the chance to interview this new television band, the Monkees.
Yep.
So, oh, hold on, I'm getting a producing note here. Take a break. Okay, we're going to take a break, come back, and talk about the Monkees here on Phoenix Tonight with Ann Moses. The studio audience is clapping.